Thursday, Parshas Nuso Yidbais Sivin Tuvshin Paivuf, May 28th, 2026, Lemis Muram. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host on Edge.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
You can now join the Clickbot, Click 613, by joining WhatsApp on 848-480-8677. Again, the number is 848-480-8677. They also have now a new SMS option for those who don't have WhatsApp on 1-833-40-25425. Again, 1-833-40-25425. That's Click. 1-833-40-CLICK. And if you have a shul, you're a gabbai, you can go on to Click 613, sign up for free. A business, you want to sign up a business so people should find you wherever they are in the world? Yes. Also, click 613.com and you'll be on the bot. Now, the chemical tank explosion in Washington has now claimed 11 victims, and the police are no longer treating it as a rescue mission but a body recovery operation. How sad. The ever-so-fragile ceasefire between Iran and the US is almost shattered. Just this morning, Iran launched a major attack against an American airbase in Kuwait. The FBI, that's last night our time, the FBI arrested a top CIA official after discovering $40 million worth of gold bars hidden in his home, and a rare blonde buffalo named Donald J. Trump was no longer used in Bangladesh, as their sacrificial animal for security reasons. All that and way more, but if you're confused as I am confused, it's because you have a very messy storage unit. You have a very messy garage. The last time you've been in a garage, you don't even want to go back there. Why don't you want to make it comfortable for yourself? You turn on the light, you see, and it smells good. You know exactly where things are. They're labeled. They're nicely shelved. Have you imagined a garage looking this way? Have you imagined your crawl space looking this way? Have you imagined, anything really where you keep things look this way? Your closet. I'm joking. He doesn't come to a closet. But the point is, he comes and does your storage, your garage. Storage Pro. Just call Storage Pro on 929. Okay, 929. Again, write down the number before I say it quickly. I'm joking. 929-560-9936. If you look, see for yourself the before and the after pictures here. They're not made up. These are real pictures. I just put them here nicely for you to see. This is a garage before, and this is what it looks like now. I guess that's like a data center, and somebody has a small data center at home, and this is a garage. Can you believe that this is a garage with a fridge and all that? Look at this. Look how beautiful. The fridge is now on the right side. He moved it away. But this is the idea of a good storage unit, a storage unit that looks, beautiful, nicely put, nicely set up. And he comes and does free estimates in the Muncie and Monroe area. Call him today on 929-560-9936. You never know. You might benefit from this very, very much, instead of, mitchening yourself to find things. Okay, 11 people are now believed to be... I forgot. If you mention on Edge, you get a discount. 11 people are now believed to be dead after a chemical tank exploded in Washington state yesterday. Now, as you already know, we reported yesterday on Edge that the disaster happened when a massive factory tank collapsed inwards at the Nippon building in the city of Longview. The number of victims was updated from 9 missing to 11 now. Dead. How sad. Officials stated that there is no hope of finding anyone alive at this point, and they have changed the mission from a rescue to a body recovery operation. What a sad story. The blast released a dangerous chemical called white liquor. Like liquor. Dirty water is currently being washed out through the local ditch system in Longview. The governor stated this could be the deadliest factory tragedy in modern Washington state history. Let's shoot over to Iran, because Iran fired a ballistic missile at an American airbase in Kuwait early this morning in their time. Kuwait shot it down. No damage, no injuries. This follows Iran's announcement yesterday that they will not remain quiet after the US attacked them at the Strait of Hormuz with drones. The US Navy says that they only did this in self-defense, since Iran was laying sea mines at the strait. If you follow here on Edge, obviously, you already know that the Strait of Hormuz is the very important waterway. Do I have to explain myself every single time? Where ships pass through? Well, of course I am, because if there's new listeners never heard of the Strait of Hormuz before, this is what it is. All right, now, 20% of the world's oil passes through that little strait. It's a very, very important strait, an important waterway, and it has been disrupted because of this war. As a result of the war, and Iran is basically holding it hostage. Now, but Iran said that their attack was a ceasefire violation. Obviously, the US has also blockaded their blockade. So yeah, clearly they responded with another violation. Before Iran attacked the US airbase today, it fired 4 attack drones at an American oil ship yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz. The US Central Command, CENTCOM forces, shot it down. all 4 of them. Now, Iranian leaders claimed that the ship had turned off its radar system so it wouldn't be seen. Well, it was eventually spotted and was forced to turn around. The US military then fired on an Iranian ground control station near the southern coastal city of Bandar Abbas. The US called the strikes purely to protect themselves, saying the station was getting ready to launch a 5th drone. 3 or 4 loud explosions were heard east of the city, but it caused no injuries or damage to the buildings. That's when Iran's Revolutionary Guard fired a missile at the US base in Kuwait. The Kuwaiti military said that the air defense systems shot down the incoming threats, causing large explosions in the sky northwest of Kuwait City. After the new military strikes, crude oil prices went up, rising more than $1 a barrel. Okay. In the US, the Treasury Department announced new punishments against an Iranian group called the Persian Gulf Strait Authority. It warned all ships not to do business with them. They want money, obviously, when they pass through. Trump also rejected an early plan to end the ongoing Iran war. Now, he said that Tehran has almost no money or supplies left, and they mistakenly think that they can wait until he ends his time as the President of the United States. They want to wait until he finishes, huh? Or till the midterms. He promised there will be no loosening of the punishments of the sanctions and no money will go to Iran. Trump warned that if peace talks fail, the military is ready for Pete Hegseth to finish the job. He added, quote, "We have great people. And the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, central casting. He loves war," he said it yesterday. Ibrahim Azizi, the Iranian leader, accused Trump of begging for a deal to escape a fight where no one can win. Azizi said any deal must end all sanctions, giving Iran control of the Strait of Hormuz and let Iran build nuclear material. So basically, it's a one-sided proposal that will only benefit Iran. And now we know that Steve Witkoff and Abbas Araghchi have both agreed to something. They're just waiting for Trump to sign it. And they say, the Iranians, that they gave America a 14-point plan, but America's not trustworthy. That's what they say. So, this is confusing, right? But Trump said Iran is very, very much intent and they want very much to make a deal. So far, they haven't gotten there. We're not satisfied with it, but we will be. Either that, or we'll have to just finish the job. They're negotiating on fumes. He also said that he is not comfortable with Russia or China taking Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Trump questioned if signing a deal with Iran is even worth it if Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Kuwait do not join the Abraham Accords with Israel. He also made a direct threat to U.S. ally Oman over the blocked shipping lanes. He said that the Strait of Hormuz is international water and no single country will control it. Trump added that Oman should behave just like everyone else or the United States will have to attack. Regarding to who will control the strait, Trump said, quote, "Nobody. We'll watch over it. Oman will have to behave or we'll blow them up." The State Department posted a video confirming that the threat was meant for Oman and not for Iran. That's scary. In Israel, Degel Torah political party again, leader Moshe Gafni is telling the Haredi public to stop all working with the police. This choice is an answer to recent arrests connected to the Gezeres Hagias, the Tzav Hagias. The Israeli police made new rules that force local officers to hand over Bochurim to the military police. Because of these new rules, the situation in Bnei Brak is very tense. Gafni told the local city workers to stop talking to the police right away, so they do not become guilty of harming, obviously, the holy Bnei Torah. Members of the Knesset are also moving forward with separate new laws, obviously. This new law is meant to bring back daycare money for the children of those facing Tzav Hagias. The Israeli military just got a new airplane from the US that lets them strike Iran without needing to refuel on the ground. The KC-46A is a gas station, literally a gas station in the sky. This means it can pump gas into fighter jets while they're still flying in the air. The Israeli Air Force named this specific plane Gideon. Now it arrived today at the Nevatim Air Base in the Negev desert of the southern of Israel. This is the first of 6 planes ordered from the US company Boeing, and they will replace the older Boeing 707 airplanes. Because it will be used for very, very long trips, this plane is built with a kitchen, an oven, bathroom, and the temperature controls for the crew, obviously. It has a maximum fuel capacity of over 207,000 pounds, which means it can add fuel to 38 F-18 Hornet jets or up to 59 F-16 fighter Falcon jets in one flight. talking about so much at one go, when you know how to control yourself, there's one thing. But when you don't know how to control yourself, obviously, nowadays with all the food processing and all the things that they add to foods without you even knowing, even organic, by the way, just saying, not to scare you, but it's a reality, right? We need help, and Kosher Skinny Shot is there for you, exactly for that reason. Like the NYPD, we also have demanding jobs that require energy and endurance. Yes, even when you're working in an office, you still need your mental and physical strength. If you keep yourself healthy, this won't be a problem. But sometimes, we're not at 100%, we get sick often or get tired very easily. This is why I want to introduce you, obviously, to the Kosher Skinny Shot. It's not just a weight loss program. It is a way to feel lighter, stronger, and more energized. If you're interested, 845-456-8924, that's your place to call and sign up today. Just call, leave a message, or speak to them. Just make sure you speak clearly to them. And now, why am I saying speak clearly? Because some of you leave messages, and it's very unclear, you can't hear a word. So I need you guys to call again. Oh, I meant when you call my number to go into the raffle, don't call that number I just said. This number is just for if you want to sign up right away with Kosher Skinny Shot and ask them information and questions. But if you want to sign up to win a 1 free month on Kosher Skinny Shot, you mentioned Kosher. I made a mistake here. Whatever. It was just a little bit confusing here. The read of the number and the details. 845-671-1775. Press 5 and say Kosher Skinny Shot on Edge, and you'll enter to win a free month with Kosher Skinny Shot. Again, but Kosher Skinny Shot is 845-456-8924. You can go on to kosherskinnyshot.com. Again, kosherskinnyshots.com or thinwellnessclub@gmail.com. All right, my friends, Hezbollah drones attacked an Israeli military zone on the northern border. It happened, Sergeant Rotem Yanai was killed in the attack. Between 2 and 5 other soldiers were also hurt, including 2 reservists serving on the security team of the Goren. To stop these dangers from the sky, the military is obviously making new tools against Hezbollah's special, cheap drones, which are small remote-controlled planes guided by a wire and a live video feed. Intelligence teams are working to find and strike the men flying, obviously, these drones. They have to be connected somewhere. Brigade 401 also eliminated the Hezbollah Yamach Shemoy terrorists responsible for killing Major Itamar Safir, who died last week. The terrorist was identified entering a structure in the church area. He was then eliminated by a tank fire and targeted strike by the Air Force, obviously. As reported yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that Israel is growing its operation in Lebanon. So the Israeli military is sending recorded voice messages straight to the cell phones, telling people to leave the area. The Lebanese civil defense is currently helping move older people out of the area. Israeli strikes followed those warnings. Since the fighting began, the military has destroyed over 10,000 Lebanese homes that were hiding weapons for the terror group Hezbollah. And in the last 24 hours alone, more than 150 Hezbollah targets were obviously struck. The Israeli military destroyed nearly 7 miles of a Hamas tunnel routes in northern of Gaza. Hundreds of above-ground terrorist sites also were dismantled, and the military published a 3D map of the network. The Israeli military carried out a strike in Khan Yunis, killing the head of major Hamas financial network. His name was Ihab Krizem, and he managed millions of dollars for the military wing of Hamas, of the Islamic terrorists. He was actively violating the ceasefire and helping around terror attacks against Israeli civilians and military forces. Mohammed al-Habash, a commander in charge of manufacturing weapons for Hamas, was also killed in the same strike. They also killed Ali al-Husseini, a senior Hezbollah commander. He was responsible for the group's missile and rocket operations, and that was in Lebanon actually, so I don't know how it comes here to Gaza, but yeah, whatever, in a targeted strike in Beirut area. An American podcaster named Mahmoud el-Anasri accused the Zionists of flooding the US with refugees. He said that Zionist Jews in Hollywood turned Americans against Christianity, and Israel could bankrupt the U.S. through Zionist control of finance and banking. Several people stabbed and injured. Obviously, Ben Shapiro responded to that. Sure. Yeah, it's very interesting to see that, how the Zionists are controlling the same. That follows the statement of yesterday's congresswoman, who basically lost the race because she actually spread messages saying that American Zionist Jews, are the same as Zionists. They're not different. MAGA and Zionists are of the same religion, she called it, and they need to be quote, on her words, put into special prisons used by ICE to detain illegal immigrants, criminal illegal immigrants. That's what she said, which she obviously lost. Several people were stabbed and injured. People are crazy. They don't base facts on anything. They just say things that makes them feel good, and then they have voices, and people listen to them. Millions of people listen to them, and they listen to their lies and what they spread. Terrible. But several people, in another sad story, were stabbed and injured by an Islamic terrorist on a train station in Switzerland today. Where are they, people? The attack happened in the city of Winterthur, where, I think I pronounced it right, where the witnesses heard the attacker shouting Allahu Akbar during the stabbing. Police quickly moved in and arrested this attacker. Official reports say 3 people were wounded, though some early reports said 4. 4 people, including 2 children, were found shot to death inside a home in North Hills, Los Angeles yesterday. Police were called to the house just before 8 o'clock after getting reports of multiple shots heard. When they arrived, they found all 4 people already dead at the scene. Investigators are treating this case as a homicide, and some reports say it may have been a murder-suicide. Police have not named the suspect yet, but they confirmed there is no ongoing threat to the public. Last week, the FBI arrested a top CIA official after finding over $40 million worth of gold bars hidden in his Virginia home. The man, named David Rush, held top-secret clearance at the agency. During the raid on his property, the FBI found 300 gold bars along with cash and Rolex watches. Lawyers said he stole the gold directly from the CIA and brought it home from work. Officials also filed a formal paper saying Rush tricked the government by lying about his work history. They say he faked his background and falsely claimed that he was a pilot in the Navy. Well, how did the FBI not know that? Unbelievable. That must have happened during the Biden administration. Why? Yes, because it was very neglected. It was all about equality. The Trump administration put punishments back in place against Francesca Albanese. Remember, a judge was told to take it off, but they put it back on again. An anti-Israeli United Nations official. This comes about a week after the penalties were dropped. The U.S. Office of Foreign Affairs of Foreign Assets Control took her off the sanctions list on May 20 after the court ruled the penalties likely broke her right to free speech. Now, a higher court was issued a legal pause on that earlier ruling. Because of this pause, the punishments were immediately put back into effect. More than 90 U.S. lawmakers are pressing Donald J. Trump to shut down UNRWA directly. UNRWA, which is known as the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, for years already. Now, UNRWA has faced heavy criticism and funding cuts over its ties to Hamas in Gaza. This is not confirmed yet, but the new push could mean ending the agency's operations for good. Trump is trying again to sue the Wall Street Journal. On Wednesday, he filed a revised $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the newspaper's publisher. The lawsuit is over an article that claimed Trump wrote a birthday letter to Epstein. A judge recently dismissed Trump's first version of the complaint. Now his legal team has updated the paperwork and filed the massive lawsuit in a second time. Yesterday, Trump posted an endorsement tracker which showed that his support led to successful primary elections. According to his post on Truth Social, all 118 of the politicians won after he supported them. New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani just announced a massive $20 billion plan to tackle the city's housing shortage. The new project is called Block by Block. Well, I actually mentioned it yesterday, and the goal is now to build 200,000 new affordable homes. He also wants to pressure another 200,000 units over the next 10 years. To make this happen, the mayor wants to change zoning rules in quieter neighborhoods and speed up the approval process for new buildings. There is also a $75 million program to help renters buy rundown buildings from their landlords. Hear that? Rundown buildings. I guess every renter is going to do something to make sure it looks rundown to get that done. Typical. New York City police officers will be working much longer hours this summer to handle a massive wave of upcoming events. Starting in July, the NYPD is putting police officers on 12-hour shifts. Officials say the city is facing a never-before-seen threat environment. They are expecting huge crowds for the World Cup, the NBA Finals, and the America 250 celebrations. The extended shifts are meant to make sure enough officers are on the streets during what is expected to be one of the busiest summers in the city's history. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is asking Trump and members of the US Congress for more Patriot defense missiles. These advanced air defense machines are made to shoot down incoming targets. Zelensky sent a formal letter on Tuesday talking about the worsening situation of his country. He sent the urgent letter right after Russia launched an attack of more than 90 missiles. He said that the requested missiles are needed to block the ongoing Russian attacks. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's new travel plans brings him to another Asian country, Armenia. On Truth Social, Trump made a post addressed to his friend, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. He wrote, "Nikol completely shared my vision of peace," with big letters, and prosperity, all caps, for Armenia and the entire South region. Our Secretary of State Marco Rubio just traveled to Armenia, where he advanced several important deals for both our countries. Soon the United States and America will break ground together on the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, which will transform the South Caucasus. And I think it's pronounced Caucasus, yeah. Caucasus, and help our wonderful American energy companies gain access from Central Asia all the way to the United States. All right. North Korea is making it very, very clear that they will never give up their nuclear weapons. They are accusing the United States, India, Japan, and Australia of pushing hostile policies against them. These 4 countries work together in a security group known as the Quad. Now, the government, or CUD, I know it's Quad actually. The government says they are not bound by any treaties and that limit nuclear weapons, and they plan to keep building up their military power, which they are actually. As long as they don't mess with us, they're just to their own, which is good. Now, to end this funny segment today, a rare white buffalo in Bangladesh, nicknamed Donald Trump, well, it looked like him because he had the same hair as Donald Trump, was saved from being sacrificed for their local holiday. A 1,500-pound animal, which coincidentally has blonde hair, was not obviously sacrificed on Eid al-Daha, whatever, some sort of the reason. Well, the government said it was about security concerns, plus the unusual level of public interest that animal gained on social media, obviously. It was already sold, but the government stepped in. The last minute, the buyer was refunded, and the buffalo is being moved to the National Zoo in Dhaka. All right, what a funny story to end with, right? A little bit lighter than all that terrible news that we just heard now, my friends. Protobyte is there for you when you need to build and design yourself some software. You don't have to go to the moon. Yesterday we spoke about NASA building already plans and for settlers on the moon. You don't have to settle on the moon. You just have to go to a regular person with regular technology and regular mindset, understands your customers, to build you software that works with a website tied into it. Protobyte 347-354-1237. YS Capital Group if you want to borrow some money for an investment. 718-831-2168. Direct approvals, fast lending, fast approvals, direct lending. Yeah, that's what it was. 718-831-2168. Arrive Express, 845-622-1111. 845-254-1111. My friends, have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see each other, Be'ez Hashem Yisborach, tomorrow.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours. Powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.